future. At least 3 days in the future.
Shit. More bullshit, please. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Modular Components. It's the end of the week, as it always is, at some point in the week. I'm here, the Vacuuminator, to talk to you people about whatever. And joining me in that is Boingo Rider.
Fucking Bing Bong.
Yes. And Buster Corp.
Watchdog Enders?
No.
I was referring to everyone else, not you.
And this is a pretty special, nice episode, everybody, because for the first time in Modular Components history, we have a guest, a proper guest co-host who we're not bringing in a secret bid to make them join Modular Media, at least not yet. Guest, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'd love to. I'm Marcy. I run a YouTube channel called Nezumi VA where I talk about stuff exhaustively. That's pretty much it.
Oh, cool, same.
Yeah, so we're in like-minded company.
Yeah. So Marcy is here just to hang out and bullshit with us tonight. I'm sure we'll end up asking her questions about her channel and whatnot. But I guess
Sure.
I guess just to get the ball rolling, Marcy, I hear you like Sonic.
I do.
Why?
That's a great question. Oh gosh. I mean, I have something of a storied history with the franchise, I suppose you could say, through all the ups and downs and all arounds.
God damn it. Fuck
But
off.
but I would say it because I'm trying to think back. I think my first exposure to it was a long, long time ago when we were moving into a new house at the time. I was maybe like 5, 6 years old, something like that. And we were getting our satellite package, and my parents got the Toon Disney, or like whatever Toon Disney was in the package. And they were airing reruns of the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. And instantly, like the second I saw that for the first time, I was like, "Oh, I don't know what it is. I like something about this little guy."
So 5
And from
years
there, it
old,
was
this
just,
is like
you know-
primal shit for you.
Yeah. So from there, it was just like, I think I got like Sonic 2 on Game Gear soon after that. Played some of like the Sonic and Knuckles collection, like PC ports or something. And then my brother, around that period of time, it was around when he was going to college. And he had a Dreamcast that he had gotten like for Christmas or something. And I always asked him if I could play Sonic Adventure, and it was his. And he was like, "No, you can't touch my stuff." But when he left for college, he decided to just leave it behind and was like, "Yeah, you can have it now." And then that just opened the floodgates.
I don't need this anymore. You can take the addiction now.
Yeah, exactly. And I took it much farther than he ever did.
It must have been like a dream.
Yeah. I mean, getting to Big the Cat for the first time wasn't the dream, but, we all make sacrifices.
I mean, like it's interesting to me because I did watch a couple of your Sonic videos today. And it's weird for me to like it's that thing of like I know there's people who are passionate about Sonic out there, but like the most exposure I've ever had to Sonic is I read a book on the history of Sega once, and I've seen the trailers for both Sonic movies.
I gotcha. Yeah, the first Sonic movie was cute. I liked it.
I have a stupid story about that movie. Funny.
All right.
I think I told it in like a review I unlisted on my old channel, but like I saw Doug Walker there.
Oh my god!
What? I'm not even kidding.
Exciting.
I am not even kidding. Yeah. I have a picture.
Was he going
What you
to
just
see
said,
it?
what you just said is the equivalent to me of I just saw Mothman. What?
Well, here's the thing. I've also had an experience like that about Doug Walker very briefly.
Okay, share.
Oh my god.
So, it was when I was at an anime convention one time. My mom was with me, and we were leaving on the last day. Like, we were getting up in the morning because it was like hotel checkout time or whatever. And we were walking through the hall, and everybody was trying to get on the elevators. It was packed, and like, nobody could really get around. So a lot of people were going down like the security exits and stuff like that. But so we hit the elevator button hoping like, okay, maybe there's a chance that we'll just get lucky and there'll be an empty elevator. And the elevator door opens, I swear to God. The door opens and standing at the front of a packed crowd in the elevator is Doug Walker just standing there. Like he might as well have been like fucking T-posing or something.
Like,
And,
hello,
like-
welcome to my domain.
Nostalgia Critic jump scare was like happening right then. And my mom looks at the packed elevator, and of course she doesn't know anything about this fucking guy. Like she just sees him as, regular man. And she's like, yeah, you have room for 2 more? And it's an incredibly packed elevator. And he looks around himself for a second and he's like, oh, well, I mean, if you want to try to squeeze in, you can. And she's like, no, that's fine.
The question is, did he see your reaction and go, oh God, not another fan?
Well, I don't know that I would necessarily classify myself as a fan.
Oh
but...
no, I'm joking. He mistakes your terror
Oh,
for
okay,
fandom.
I see. No, I tried to keep my reaction somewhat subdued, but
Yeah, it's always weird meeting people with higher subscriber counts than you in real life, especially because it's like a part of you wants to be like, oh, senpai, and then another part is like, this is that is no, what? It's another person. Stop.
yeah, that's generally what I always try to like keep in mind whenever I meet somebody that's like, oh, I like you from the internet. It's like, they're probably just another person like me that is just like kind of stumbled ass backwards into their fame.
Yeah, I'm kind of thankful I haven't really had that experience yet. Like, I've got some loyal commenters on my channel, but I don't think I have any fans. And I've certainly never been recognized in person at a con or otherwise.
Oh yeah, me neither. But I mean, like, there's an appeal about staying rather anonymous to some extent. Like, I like doing what I do. I like having people that enjoy what I do. But sometimes I just feel to myself, I'm like, oh, if only I could escape into that void of not being known.
There was a time, far before I really knew what VTubers were, or I think even before I met Boingo, where I considered just making a second channel that was an avatar channel and like pitching my voice up just to be a different YouTuber and see if I could get a different experience.
Huh, that's interesting.
Honestly, I've kind of thought that just in just different formats, like just like weird. I had this weird idea once where it's like, okay, I have one channel for like comedy reviews and another for like analytical reviews, and and then I realized that's an awful idea. Why would I do that?
Now I'm just picturing. I'm sorry. I'm just picturing us posting on Twitter. Everyone, we regret to inform you that Buster Corp has decided to part ways with Modular Media. We wish them the best on their future endeavors. And then the next day, everyone meet the new member of Modular Media, Corp Buster.
Yep.
Totally different person, no relation.
Yeah. But no, Marcy, you were saying?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, that's I've had sort of like similar thoughts in the past about certain things where it's like, oh, should I make a different channel for this because it's like a different type of content? But like at a certain point it just gets to where you're like, I have to consolidate this shit or like nobody's gonna watch anything I make.
I can get that. There's always that feeling of like, oh, if only I could start over and do everything in a much more streamlined way. Like I just made my 10th anniversary special and it was in part kind of all about that.
Yeah, because I mean, like, it's a complicated process. I've tried and failed to do like multiple YouTube channels over the years before I really settled on this one that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
See, I just kept the same YouTube channel this whole time since fucking 2011 and just renamed it. Did not give a fuck.
Well, my first couple of YouTube channels got suspended.
Oof.
But that was because I made them whenever I was like a little kid, back like early YouTube days. And back then I didn't have any delusions of grandeur of making actual content. It was just like I downloaded episodes of Ed, Edd and Eddy and sped them up because it was funny. And then they got flagged for copyright.
I don't know how shit like that enters a kid's head to do that. Like fan edits were not a thing I ever thought of until way later.
No, I've shown Vac and I think Buster my early YouTube stuff where I was a dude in high school who is trying to be like Wheezy Waiter and the Vlog Brothers.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's pretty cringe, not gonna lie.
I did make a short film that's 15 minutes long, but
Yeah, no,
it does
I was
have
talking
Skrillex.
about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
but if it, talking vacuum cleaners are bust. Very joke that I'm not even sure anyone in this call will get, but gotta say that.
Oh,
I mean,
you
we
know
gotta-
what?
I gotta-
I thought you were asking if I cameoed in it. What?
Oh, I was
Oh.
like,
It
Oh,
does kind of sound vaguely familiar, though. I don't know why.
Cat Icarus. He talked about it as like
Oh,
old
yes,
YouTube
yes.
videos.
That's right.
See, this is the esoteric jokes I go for. Just go for like just a one-off detail in like a YouTube video I watch sometime.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It works.
Well, I explained it, so of course it worked.
Well, at least I knew what it was.
It's fine to show your work as long as you get the right math right.
Mhm. People, what exactly have we been up to lately? Because it's been a while since we've had a regular episode of this show, and it's been a while since I've been on a proper episode of this show. So, like, I'm genuinely curious. Just how's everybody doing tonight?
I got fucking bombarded with notifications on Twitter because, as it's been alluded to, I am a VTuber. Hello. And what I
You don't
am,
say.
yeah, I'm a robot. So it's not a common thing for a robot VTuber. More often than not, you got like fairies and elves and cat girls and demons. And stuff like that. Typically, it's more fantasy based, so sci-fi ones are few and far between. So one person was like, "Yo, give me fucking robots to fucking show up," and I was like, "All right, cool. Here's my PNG, whatever." And they made like just a list of robot VTubers. Then another person was like, "Yo, I want robot VTubers to make like a little fucking collage of us," and they just tagged everybody on their list. So for like 3 hours, every time I look at my phone on Twitter, it'd be 20 new notifications. It's like, Jesus Christ.
God.
You got that celebrity Twitter experience for a day.
Yeah.
I hate
How's
like
it
what,
feel?
Yeah. I mean, it was neat. It was nice. We all of us just immediately went like, oh shit, there's a lot of robots here. Let's just fucking make a Discord so we can just hang out and just be robot VTubers. Just fucking about.
It's like the episode where Squidward goes to the town of Squidwards.
Oh God.
well,
Instead of,
if that episode's gonna be any indication that there's gonna be a very dark end.
Well, that's why Boingo's on the podcast now. He didn't leave. He came back.
Yeah. No, it's not a closed off community. It's just and then fucking yesterday, neither of you were there. My two mods not moderating my chat.
Okay,
Listen, I had action figures to open. Okay, I was doing important shit.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, I was planning to show up in the stream, like that, not like in voice, but just like in the chat. But I went to sleep.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, no, all my plugins crashed.
Oh God.
So I couldn't see my chat. I couldn't see any of my alerts as they happened. I couldn't see.
It was not the Rhine time for that to happen.
Oh
huh?
no, it was not the
Yeah.
Ryan time. I was not feeling it. So then I spent all the last night and today just making a new thing so I can bounce now and move.
You're a real boy, except you're not.
No.
You have simulated realness.
Yeah. Too cool for school.
Personally, I've been having kind of a weird week, to be completely honest. My sleep has
Oof.
been all over the place. And when I'm not sleeping, I'm trying to work up the motivation to work. I'm currently writing a script, and it's taking a while because it's just a lot to write.
Is it another big boy?
Yeah, so in December I did a retrospective of the first Danganronpa, and now I'm writing one about the sequel, which is longer.
Oh,
So
that's
and that video was already like over 2 hours long, so
I mean, far be it from me to say to criticize somebody who has how many is it? 25,000 more subscribers than me, but that does not seem like the best task management.
no, it's I'll be honest, probably bit off more than I can chew, but I'm doing it now, so there you go.
Hey, at least you're better off than me because I've been writing a long form like script for analyzing a video game for like a year now, and nowhere near done.
Yeah, the way he announced this was by saying to Shame, "I'm gonna make something like your Ruby and Sapphire video." And Shame said, "Fucking do it."
Yeah, I am dissecting Hamtaro, Ham Heartbreak, the Game Boy Advance game.
Oh, wonderful.
And meanwhile, I'm just sitting here going like, I could make a video about the second episode of Power Rangers this weekend, but like,
Yeah,
I got a door that needs fixed. How about I do that instead?
that's also important.
And I have not had a great week, to be honest.
Yeah, but
like,
if you're not vibing with talking about a bad week, you know,
I mean, like, I'm not really gonna get into it, but basically, I'm kind of like rethinking how I go about videos. Basically, like it's because I used to do weekly, and that kind of was not great for me, and I just didn't like. I didn't like what, because sometimes I just make like a 2-minute like quick thoughts video, and I wasn't really vibing with those. Like some of them worked, a lot of them didn't, and I wasn't really feeling happy with the output. Like, some of them were pretty good, some of them and I'm just like, you know what, I just need to take some more time. I need to stop, like, forcing myself to just go every week. And I keep telling myself that, but I feel like now I'm gonna finally commit. Like, if I do a video a week and then a video next week, that's great, but that's not gonna be my schedule. It's just gonna be when it's done.
Yeah, schedules and, like, YouTube encourages people to have schedules, but I don't really think they're as healthy as YouTube thinks they are.
Oh, no, not at all. I used to try to do like 2 to 3 videos a month. Now I'm like, I'll do 1 a month probably.
I enjoy having the channels I can rely on a weekly basis, but it's very clear that like they are extremely formulaic, and they are that way because that's the only way they can be weak. And
yeah, because if you try to do longer form content weekly, it'll just destroy you.
you gotta have a production staff at that point.
You got to be Philosophy Tube.
I don't know how Philosophy Tube does it, honestly.
Like I was the example I was
built different.
Yeah.
Like the example I was gonna bring up is like Mac McMuscles' What Happened series. Like, yeah, he has like gameplay videos, but like he has like editors working on like all sorts of like what happens, and they release like every week or other week, and you know.
Yeah.
I know some people critique them, but like, you know, like critique them for basically being quote unquote Wikipedia write-offs. But he actually, like, have you actually seen an episode of it? Yeah, there's a lot of editing. Like, I'm talking to they're not talking to you, Vac.
Yeah, you Matt McMuscles looking motherfucker.
Yeah, he does look like Matt. Like, I keep telling people he looks like Matt, and like Vac doesn't buy it.
We bought Matt McMuscles on Wish.
We have Matt McMuscles at home.
Yeah,
I hate it here.
Yeah.
How do we think? How do you think we feel? We have a cheap Matt McMuscles ripoff.
Damn it!
Well, here's the thing too about like quote unquote Wikipedia write-off videos. Like, to an extent, they're kind of needed too anyway, just because like most people will not read Wikipedia articles either. Yeah. So
I mean, half the shit I know about some of my favorite things I wouldn't know without channels like Transformers: The Basics and Toy Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
everybody has a place,
and it's like visual. Like some people learn through visuals, and I feel like, you know, putting that in a video is very beneficial.
Absolutely. Like, I remember one of my favorite little gags. There was a Cybershell video where he was talking about like bonus content in one of the Sonic games, and he's like, literally all of the content I'm about to discuss in this video is on the cutting room floor, but I'm making this video anyway because you're not gonna fucking read it.
I've actually not heard of Cybershark before. Who is that?
Shell.
Oh, Cybershell. Yeah.
Oh,
they're Sonic. They're Sonic.
Yeah, I mean, he primarily makes Sonic-related content, but he's also just sort of been around since, like, I think he was pretty notable on Something Awful at one point. He's done like some LP threads and stuff. He's pretty funny. I like him.
Okay.
That's the thing. I'm not a Sonic fan, quote unquote. I am not part of that like fandom. But I will say this: I probably played more Sonic games growing up than Mario, just by sheer happenstance. So like, I see a lot of Sonic and I understand it. It's just not pumping in my veins, you know?
Yeah.
And I definitely knew what
played-
Sonic was as a kid, but like it's just, and like I did play video games as a kid, even though I'm not a gamer now. But it's just one of those franchises that I never happened to cross.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's my burden to bear. There has to be one person in every friend group, I think.
Well, I was definitely that person in high school for my friend group as well.
Aw, sick!
I was a religious follower of Christery.
How
and
up to date
nowadays-
are you now?
Yeah, well, I'm up to date, but I'm very hands off at this point. Well, mostly
Yeah.
just because it got to a certain point whenever I was like becoming a young adult that I was just like, yeah, like the extent of like documenting this person's life so thoroughly and like following every like little detail is just kind of fucked up.
And the codependent relationship that it's become.
And now with everything that's happened most recently, which I won't get into for obvious reasons, it's just sad and weird and gross, and it should have never gotten to this point.
It is the darkest time, honestly, but it's that doesn't make it not fascinating to me. Like
Yeah, I mean,
I
it
would
is
never get
definitely-
involved, but I like keeping
Right.
up.
Yeah, it's that, it's that like the prime directive, like I'll watch a civilization unfold, but it won't directly interfere.
Yeah, like the most involved I get is I recently binged the whole series of videos Gino Sumel made.
That's very well made. Gino is really good.
And I got into his music for that. He's a really good musician.
Yeah, very talented guy. And I definitely don't blame him for taking some time off after everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
The
Like,
world's fucking wild.
all I got to contribute to the Sonic 2 conversation is that I've only seen his Shrek Retold. Shrek Retold's good.
Shrek Retold is really good.
I saw
Yeah.
Shrek.
It's basically like a free, like it's on YouTube and they're like making a sequel. I don't know when the sequel's coming out, but like I'm excited. Shrek 2 is an even better movie. Will lead to more creative stuff.
Isn't Shrek
Yeah.
Retold like fairly old? Like so they're coming
2018.
after a long time?
Yeah, it's only several years old at this point.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like pre-2010s for some reason.
They also made a Sonic one, actually,
Hey!
for the old Sonic OVA anime thing.
Oh, where Knuckles is Australian with the hat? Or is it a cowboy
yeah,
hat?
I mean he has a hat.
Oh, how did I miss this? I'll watch it. I actually need to. First, I'll watch the OVA because I've still not done that. Very shame on me because I really like Sonic. And then I'll watch the rebuild. Yeah. Although it's funny because I just started watching the Evangelion rebuild.
The rebuild of Sanvangelion.
How's that going for you?
I've only watched the first one, but like the post credits, like the ending stinger with Kaoru, it makes me really excited. And what I've heard about the other ones, I'm like the first one's like this is like fine. It's like it's kind of derivative, but it's needed to.
Yeah. The first one is the most like reproduction of the original stuff. After that, it just like kind of goes a little nuts.
Yeah, and that's why I'm
You gotta
excited.
build a crust for a pie.
But I would definitely say, I think to this day, I still think the second one is probably my favorite, just because it's such a fun movie to watch. I can put it on anytime and enjoy myself.
Yeah,
My entire experience with Evangelion is I think it's that first movie, and like I think the corresponding episodes of the actual show.
Yeah,
So-
because I think the first movie adapts up to like what episode, like 6 to 10-ish or something like that. Maybe not even 10, but like somewhere.
It stops
in
like
there.
right before Asuka's debut.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I never was able to get into Neon Genesis Evangelion, mainly due to the fact that I started watching the rebuttals to Neon Genesis. Fuck my tongue.
Seiki Evangelion.
Neon Genesis Evangelion, because the first anime I watched, conscious that it was anime and not just a cartoon being shown on the TV, was Gurren Lagann.
Oh, yeah.
Which thematically, in a roundabout way, is kind of a rebuttal. Rebuttal's a loaded term for that, but kind of like a response.
Definitely like a spin. It's definitely a spin on everything that made Evangelion what it was, which is in no small part due to the fact that it was made by a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
I mean, both Gurren Lagann and I'd say Gao Gaigar are like two shows that are directly like happy robot shows are out, sad robot shows are in. Let's make one last happy robot show.
Yeah, I still love Gurren Lagann. I mean, like, it has its flaws, but it's still something that I can always go back to. Speaking of giant robot shows, actually, has anybody here seen SSSS Gridman?
Yes. Yes.
No.
I love it.
Gridman.
I need to evangelize about it to everybody because it just kind
Well,
of
you
got
come
slept
to the
on.
right place because we're Tokusatsu fans, and I have seen like a couple episodes of the original Gridman.
I've seen a
Zach,
couple
I thought you said
episodes.
you were-
I've seen a few episodes of the original Gridman, a few episodes of Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. I'll get to SSX, the S Gridman. Yes,
I thought you watched it after I made my video on it.
I said I was going to, and then shit happened.
Because we were fucking bemoaning that Mother's Basement made basically the same video like 3 weeks later.
Yeah, that's a thing you need to know, Marcy. Fuck Mother's Basement. All our homies hate Mother's Basement.
Oh, I see.
Not in any genuine sense.
I occasionally watch Jeff, but I've had a similar experience about something where I made a video about something like a couple years ago, actually. And then Jeff made a similar video a couple years later, and like totally outdid it, of course. And it like I'm not actually like hostile or anything about it. It just stands to reason, but it's just one of those funny things where I was like, oh, okay.
It's one of the worst things that can happen as a YouTuber, especially if like you make something that happened to me. I made a video about a series of Kamen Rider films I really loved. And I was like, so these aren't available on DVD or anything in the West, but you can watch them on YouTube for free. And then like a month later, Discotech said, hey, we're bringing these out in the US for the first time.
Oh, not Discotech. It was Media Blasters.
Yeah, Media Blaster.
I think, don't they have the same parent company, ? Something like that?
Probably.
Well, they are very similar niche. They are a very...
I thought, I could have sworn they were related somehow, but maybe I'm remembering incorrectly.
Yeah.
Flocking Google.
Yeah, Gridman, good. I kind of was a bit like at first when I watched it, I'll be honest, I was kind of being a prick about it because it's like I was being a like a toku snob, being like, well, it is, and but like now I've kind of calmed down on it, and I'm like, no, this is a legit great show. My only problem is it kind of feels uncomfortable seeing 14-year-old girl like sexualized.
That just comes with the territory when you're watching anime.
That's anime for you, unfortunately. Yeah. But I think like a lot of the things that it does with both the sort of like, how do I put this? Like it plays around with the fact that it's a tokusatsu adaptation, but then like also the things that it does with sort of not to get into spoilers or anything, but like the meta layers and stuff. It's just really interesting and compelling to me. And of course, the main villain is one of my favorite characters of the last several years of anime.
People have told me about her quite a bit just because her design is based off the paint scheme of an obscure Transformers toy, as is like most everything in that show, apparently.
Huh. I didn't know that.
And apparently Dynazon, the sequel, is based on like Beast War toys. So.
Oh, cool.
That doesn't surprise me at all. I haven't seen all of Dynazon yet, but like it's because I watched Gridman with a group of friends, and that group of friends has been sort of busy. But I've been wanting to save Dynazon for when we can all sit down and watch it together.
And I've actually not watched an episode of Dynazon, but I really want to get to it because the idea behind Dynazon is so cool. It's not just that they're doing like a sequel in the way Tokusatsu does sequels. They're doing like it on a scrapped concept for the Gridman sequel from the 90s, and that's like such a cool way.
That is really cool. And now they're doing like, I can't remember if it's a series or a film that's
they're doing a crossover
over
movie.
It's
which
going to
I'm
be like very much looking forward to that.
Yeah. Trigger's still doing the movie, right?
Probably. I would imagine.
Yeah.
No, I have such a love-hate relationship with Studio Trigger.
So that's what he's doing after being an Ultraman. Okay.
God damn it! Don't.
Black, why did you have to bring that up? I don't want to go on a Trigger rant when we have a guest around. Like
I haven't even watched the finale yet. I don't know why you're mad, and I'm excited to find out.
The finale
sucked. Good lord.
Well, hey, who knows?
It's interesting to see a very heated Busto.
Busto, we still have episode Z to look forward to. Don't get mad yet.
God. I mean, but I do have some faith because the team behind my favorite Ultra series is doing that movie, but like just that show, the Ultimate Trigger burned me so hard. I don't even know if I want to watch like any adjacent content to it.
Wow, if a mid-series makes you say that, I want a really bad Ultraman show next to see how you'll
Oh,
react.
I honestly, I think to me, Trigger is bad. Like, like honestly, like the first 2 episodes were good, but then it just like slowly delved into I don't like this. Even if the effects are great. But then we'll save that for the other podcast we do. Twit, yeah.
The
You're
utter of
lear-
like the 80 podcasts we do every
You're learning
week.
the art of the plug. You're learning the art of the plug.
Hey, there you go.
That wasn't even intentional. I just like saying what I just was
That's
saying
the
it.
point. It should
Still,
never feel
though-
intentional.
Still though, good call, my young Padawan.
Speaking of which, I'm also probably starting a podcast soon.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think you were tweeting. I saw you tweeting about it, like, and I'm like, I don't want to because I'm like, I like the idea, and it'll probably get me off the butt because it's actually based on a franchise one of my friends loves.
Okay,
But
explain.
it's definitely sorry, what was that?
I'm just saying, like, explain, because clearly Buster's in the know, and
Oh, okay.
obviously you're in the know, but I don't know.
Right. So, my idea that I was having lately is I'm a pretty big fan of the When They Cry franchise of visual novels. And I always want to like evangelize to everybody I know about it that can handle it, to be clear, because it is a pretty dark franchise. It has a lot of
Is that
like
the one
really
with the little
upsetting
girl with the
content.
white eye patch?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's about all the kids that kill each other.
Ah.
Well, that could
Which
describe
I mean,
a lot
that
of
can apply to
franchises.
several franchises at this point, but
See, I was about to make a School Days joke, so.
well, School Days is also a fan, but anyway, so like because I want more people to talk about it with, I had sort of the idea of like because one of the big appeals of the franchise back in the day when they were first releasing was that I mean, both notable entries in the franchise are mystery stories. So, like when one of the installments would release, you'd see like a bunch of people in Japan talking about the mystery on forums, trying to solve it, trying to like discuss their theories and stuff. So I thought a fun idea would be to like bring people into it who've never read it before, and then have kind of like a monthly podcast of like sort of a book club style thing, where like we'd agree upon like read this much before the meeting, and then let's talk about it. So that's kind of what I'm trying to set up at the moment.
That's a cool concept. I've never heard of anything like that being done with visual novels. But then again, I'm not in the visual novel sphere at all. So maybe it's tried and true, and I just don't know.
Well, I don't know how common it is, but I know there's another podcast, because I kind of got the idea too from the fact that there's another podcast that does a similar thing with exclusively the second series in the When They Cry franchise, which is Umineko, and that podcast is Golden Truths. They're really good. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, if you ever planned to get into Umineko yourself, then I would recommend trying to like stay clear from spoilers and stuff. But if you don't ever see yourself doing it, then like it's a good podcast to listen.
And I'm also the kind of guy who's just like, nah, spoil away. If it's good, it'll work even with the spoilers.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's like a podcast idea I had for One Piece, because I'm completely caught up and I want to talk to One Piece, talk about One Piece with somebody who hasn't read it.
It's never gonna happen. I'm not gonna do it.
Just going volume by volume. So like read volume one.
That would be a cool idea, because I mean, like, especially because One Piece is one of those things that's so intimidating on the outside, especially if you're just kind of given that that non-direction of like, oh yeah, just catch up with it. Good luck, buddy. But
One
if it
Piece
were
is like the one
thing,
manga that's like an act that's like has the same reputation as all American comics.
I very recently finally caught back up with One Piece, and it was an arduous journey.
But it's a good one. It's a good one.
To be fair, catching up with it reading is a lot. I mean, it's still very intimidating, but it's a lot less intimidating than trying to catch up with the anime.
I'm still like hundreds of chapters behind. Like I only just finished East Blue last year, so I got like a lot ahead of me.
Actually, you in Wano.
Yeah, Boingo tweeted that, and I'm very excited because one of my friends, Asterix, a cool YouTuber as well, she's obsessed with One Piece as well. and like one of her favorite characters is Yamato, and one of the main reasons I want to get to Wano is to see why she loves Yamato.
Oh, I love Yamato, my boy.
Very good
Meanwhile,
lad.
I'm just over here like, maybe I should catch up on my favorite someday. I really need to get back to
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Naruto, but
Mm.
I've only seen like random episodes of the anime. Like I've seen a couple arcs here and there, and I read, I want to say, the first 5 volumes of the manga when I was a kid.
I gotcha. I mean, I still stand by like the Land of Waves and Chunin exam stuff. That's still very good content for me.
Oh yeah.
like, see, the manga I grew up on was Pokemon Adventures.
Yeah.
I really didn't like get into like the Shonen Jump stuff. Like, I guess I'm not sure if, like would Adventures be considered a shonen, but like I'm just
Yeah,
like
I mean,
I like the storytelling set. But like, yeah, Adventures was really the only one, and I like remember picking it up on like the tail end of the Gold and Silver arc, which was like crazy because that had a major reveal where like a minor character from the games turns out to be the villain. I'm not gonna say what it is because that's
Oh.
major spoilers. And it's like, whoa! And I'm like, my like 7-year-old mind was blown. I was like, whoa! Pokemon, like this Pokemon story is like great, and like I actually have not read past Gold and Silver still, but like I really should because I did start Ruby and Sapphire, but I never got around to it. But like,
I
yeah,
had the
Adventures
first.
has continued to this day, right?
Yeah.
like although there's like sub series, like there's like
Mm.
Black and White 2 is like its own thing, but then there's like other things. There was like some Sword and Shield I think there were gag strips. I completely forgot. I don't know.
I had the first volume of Diamond and Pearl as a kid, like when I first got into Pokemon, because I got into it like right around the time Diamond and Pearl was coming out, and I distinctly remember that like that was the first time I had to come to terms with the fact that not every tie-in thing was the same continuity in terms of media, because like I read that thinking like, oh, this is an expansion on the story of the game. It's more focused on the characters than the gameplay. Let me read this and see if I like these characters as much as I think I do. And then the character you play as, if you pick to play as a boy, is like fucking Tarzan, and I'm like, what is happening? What?
It was Ruby and Sapphire. Like,
No, that was they might have done that in Ruby and Sapphire too, but that was in Diamond and Pearl.
I have one of the I don't remember if it's Pokemon Adventure or Electric Tales of Pikachu floppies
Oh God.
when Viz published manga in the American comic book format.
Do you have the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
Linkara reviewed when he defeated Missing No?
No.
Yeah, that's Electric Tail of Pikachu.
I also have one of Dragon Ball Z. So
Yeah, they like I go to Free Comic Book Day like every year, and they actually still do that like with Free Comic Book. Like they had a Dragon Ball like super manga like Free Comic Book Day, and it was like in the style of an American comic floppy. And whoa,
Oh, huh.
this feels illegal.
Yeah.
these are like from the 90s, and it has ads for like Ranma 1/2 VHSs. And it's great.
Oh God.
Nice.
That takes me
Honestly,
back.
I hate myself for saying this. The main reason I want to watch Ranma 1.5 is because it was the main inspiration for Scott Pilgrim. Just a big Scott Pilgrim mark.
Well, I mean, either way, Ranma is fun. I mean, like, obviously it has a lot of, cheesy 90s anime bullshit, but, I mean, it's Rumiko Takahashi.
Yeah.
I can handle, like, tropes. It's just, yeah, it's just, like, I'm not sure if I would like everything else.
I started the anime based off of her latest manga, the one with the yokai dude.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember the name, but I know what you're
I'm
talking
trying to
about.
remember. Is she not the lady who did Sailor Moon?
No.
No.
Okay.
She's the one who did Inuyasha.
Oh, okay. See, my brain was going like, oh, I finished Sailor Moon recently. Something I can talk about.
Yeah,
No.
I can't remember the off the top of my head right this second. I'm blanking on the manga's name for Sailor Moon.
All I remember is she's married to the guy who did Yu Yu Hakusho.
And Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. And apparently she's worked on trying to replicate his art style in case he can never finish Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's
So she can do it for
adorable.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're definitely a power couple.
Yeah.
See,
Shame
the
about
only-
his health, if that's the big problem behind a lot of his stuff,
Because I think
He
that's
wants him to be
if I-
comfortable,
If I recall correctly, that's the reason that Yu Yu Hakusho kind of had sort of a rushed ending, was that his health was just getting so bad that like he couldn't keep doing it, and then that's why Hunter x Hunter is on such a staggered release, because like he doesn't want to do that again.
Yeah, which is
Wait, is
completely
Hunter x Hunter not over?
Nope.
Oh, for some reason, because of the anime, I thought it had ended.
No, they pretty much got to like they got very close to like where the manga is at right now, but then they just kind of like left it off like, okay, well that we kind of ran out of material, so we're just gonna leave it.
Yeah, and like and only like what 6 or 7 chapters are released a year at kind of this point.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you know, if it keeps him healthy, then that's what
Oh
matters.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
we don't want another Berserk situation, you know.
No, God, I'm still so sad about that.
That was one of the worst days of last year, probably.
Yeah, I kind of hate myself that I only started reading Berserk like shortly after the passing. Like I wish I read it earlier, even though like I probably wouldn't be able to handle it any earlier in my life. I feel like only now I'm able to handle
Yeah,
such material.
that's fair enough, because Berserk is pretty dark.
Yeah, I've only read the first couple chapters, and just because of how dark it was, that was why I was like, yeah, I'll come back to this. I'll come back to
Yeah.
this.
See, I know I will like Berserk when I read it, but I know dark stories like that, I have to be in a very specific mood to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just binge it all, and then I feel sad for a month.
Yeah. Me too.
It's like me when a new Garo series comes out.
Because that's what happened when I read Devilman.
Oh yeah. Yep, that'll do it.
I just binged it for like a day, just 5 volumes, and then for the rest of the week I was just like,
What am I
life is
doing with
pain
my
and
life?
nihilism.
See, I like my nihilistic games with a side of hope. Like that's what Everhood is, basically.
there is no hope in Devilman.
I know,
No.
but like I feel like the only reason like I do like I don't really delve too much into like quote unquote nihilist. I don't know. It's kind of I don't want to like shoot myself into like a barrel of rabbit hole of discussion that like I'm not ready for.
Well,
Yeah, that's
just
fair enough.
don't worry, Buster. Just remind me the next time you burn out on YouTube, and I'll get you to watch BoJack Horseman, and it'll be great.
Ah, come
Oh,
on!
God.
Look, like
Yeah, you want some sad times.
yeah, I have considered watching BoJack Horseman, but like then and I probably should because speaking of Netflix originals, like while it was airing, I did watch all of Voltron, and I feel such a prick that like I watched all of Voltron and that turned out shit like at the end, while everyone was praising BoJack, and I feel like I was like stuck at like I lost in a way.
Yeah.
You took the wrong side.
Yeah. I like there's like nothing comparable between the two besides their Netflix originals that were airing at the same time, but like
And they were animated, but now I'm picturing you, Buster. I'm picturing you in that meme where it's like the two diverging paths, and the
Yeah.
happy castle rainbow path is BoJack Horseman.
Which is really sad in a way if you think about it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Speaking
Yep,
of
it
Netflix
was.
originals, by the way, how does everybody feel about the fact that Netflix is already starting to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna milk Squid Game for all it's worth?
I have not finished Squid Game and I'm still pissed.
I haven't
Yeah.
started Squid Game, and I was just like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
The whole like, oh, the Squid Game universe. Like, shut up.
Like, you know how you capitalize on Squid Game? You don't make sequels, you just hire more Korean creatives to make cool stuff. Not like Death
Yeah.
Game stuff, but just like cool stuff.
I mean, you
Invest
could make a
gold.
sequel. You just gotta put work into it. You
like,
can
you know-
always make a sequel.
Yeah, but like,
I was definitely like, because I think, well, I mean, I don't know. The majority of audience members that I saw were people that were like, oh, it was totally unresolved by the end of the season. There should be another one. But I'm one of those like artsy fartsy kind of people where like I was like, I think the vague ending fits. I think it's good.
Nice.
Mood. I thrive on that artsy fartsy. Like, I don't need an ending.
I mean,
Like,
like,
here's the thing.
I get that Squid Game is kind of a phenomenon, but like, I'm more concerned with finding out how the ending of F is for Family went.
So here's the thing. You can make a sequel to Squid Game without actually doing any of the story stuff. Just make it thematic. Because that
Yeah.
was the main point of the show.
Yeah, I mean,
spiritual successor.
definitely. And of course, you know that now that it's going to be milked for sequels, they're going to completely like miss the point.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they're like I've not actually. Please correct me if I'm wrong. For anyone who's seen Saw, but I think that's like similar what happened to the Saw movies. It's like the first one people loved it, and they just kept milking it for sequels, and they just completely lost the point. Or maybe that's just any franchise.
It does have diehard fans who say there's like merit in each one, but
I would say that that's that is generally kind of the through line of the Saw franchise. But at the same time, I do think there's still like a lot more people that enjoy those sequels, even so, just because like even if they're not as how do I put it, like subtle and artful or whatever, they're still just like at that point it just gets really over the top and goofy, and there's there's merit in that as well.
It's a slasher franchise.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
all horror films are kind of rooted in. So if you keep doing it, and it's a premise that has diminishing returns, it's going to look more and more like exploitation each time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Damn, Vac. I didn't know you're fucking smart.
I have my moments.
Here and there.
Yeah. Def Beanie holds big brain.
Broken clocks and all that.
Oh yeah. God damn. That's the dumbest line in the fucking recent Wolverine comic.
What?
Oh.
The X Lives of Wolverine.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's out this week.
He's standing on a cliff and he pulls out a pocket watch and he goes like, I don't carry clocks. Digital clocks are too precise. I only like analog clocks. And even then I only carry around this broken one to remind me of like all the pain I've had. And it's just like, God damn it, Wolverine is not that fucking poetic.
Wolverine is the biggest fucking boomer in the Marvel universe, confirmed.
I don't like analog. I only like to carry around huge grandfather clocks with.
I don't like grandfather clocks. I like sundials.
Yeah.
And then fucking Cyclops comes up next to him like, I love clocks. And he's got a big backpack with a bunch of clocks in it.
Shut up, Slim. Just meet me back at the house so we can fuck.
God.
Who's pegging who tonight?
Gene's pegging you.
God. See, I probably should get into like the Hickman X-Men, but just like I did read like Power and like Sword of it. Was Power and Sword, right?
No, it's Power of 10, House of X.
I hate that name still.
Hoxpox.
Hoxpox. Okay, a good acronym. I hate the full name, but like I just like I don't really not like I guess because I'm like I'm a normie when it comes to X-Men. It's just I didn't like them changing the status quo, and I'm like I don't. It really is
a radically different status quo if you only know traditional X-Men.
Yeah, I just feel like I need some more traditional before they do a big change up, which I kind of.
All right, cool. I'll buy you the omnibus of Astonishing for your birthday.
Okay.
No, don't do Astonishing.
Why not? Why wouldn't I? Why shouldn't I do that?
Joss Whedon, yeah, that's why I was like. That's why I was like, oh, don't
Morrison. Get Buster Morrison.
I don't know if Buster's ready for Morrison.
No, look, I why not? Why not? Why not? Just throw it on me. Then we'll see if I can.
Here's the thing: Morrison's X-Men's not as weird as Morrison's like Animal Man or Doom Patrol.
X-Men fans did hate it at the time.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, I'm gonna love it then. I'm just like the anti-fan, like to everything. What Power Rangers fans hate, I love. What Power Rangers fans love, I hate.
Oh, so you love Operation Overdrive?
Yes, actually.
I definitely have a similar opinion about a lot of things, like where the typical fan crowd is like, "Oh no, this fucking sucks." I'm like, "No, I love it."
Mm-hmm.
Although I feel like sometimes that goes a bit too far for me because I kind of like. I'm not saying it's a good game. But I think I could find some merit in Sonic Forces, and I'm like,
oh no, you lost me.
I knew I was gonna lost you. I
wasn't gonna lost you. I was gonna make you the TV show Lost.
Okay. Okay. I think that's even worse fate than what I just subjected Marcy
to. I feel like I'm more so the know-it-all fan. Like anytime fucking Power Rangers fans are like, Hasbro is messing this up, they should do that. And I'm like, well, yes, but actually no. With my toy industry insider knowledge, here's how they actually are screwing it up.
Well, that's the thing too about a lot of like fan bases, especially for things that like ostensibly are marketed at children. You have like a lot of people that speak very confidently about what they think is going on, and you can tell that they don't actually have that much knowledge of how it works.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
And it's especially hilarious in this day and age when there's so many interviews with people who actually work on this stuff available.
And
But
they
like I said, people don't read.
well, like they do read, but the problem is they read on Twitter.
They do
Also
read. It's
true.
just the headlines.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, people that like I remember back when people used to say stuff about like, oh, like Rebecca Sugar steals ideas from fans of Steven Universe because things show up in the show like that these things are like in production like way ahead of time.
And it's highly illegal to do that because they could get sued.
Yeah, exactly.
And the ending of this Doctor Who arc is bad because I predicted it.
Oh, that's the worst.
If I can tell where the story is going, it's bad immediately.
God damn.
Me being smart makes a writer stupid.
Yeah.
The writer doing their job means the writer's not doing their job.
I could write this myself. I've never written a script before, ever in my life.
I've never done anything creative ever, but let me do the job of this entire production staff.
Sega hired this man.
Didn't you see? Sega did hire that man.
Yeah, they
Look
did
at
hire that man.
trailer.
Frontiers looks neat.
I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
At the very least, like I actually have been reading some of the IDW Sonic comics, and I'm like, I love the writing on those. So I'm like, at least we're gonna get some quality Sonic quips.
Yeah, I'm a very big fan of IDW Sonic.
I have not read Archie Sonic, which like yet, and I'm kind of scared too because I'm like, I'm already attached to this version of Comic Sonic, and I'm like, I'm scared to go to the Ken Pender stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing about Archie Sonic is it's sort of a mixed bag. A lot of the later stuff is really, really good. But and I mean, like it has its moments throughout, but a lot of the especially like the pre-reboot stuff, that like your enjoyment of it will kind of depend on whether or not you can stomach to go through all of the weird Ken Penders shit so that you can actually understand the lore and characters by the time there is a better writer who is making better use of them.
Yeah. Ian Flynn wrote at the tail end of Archie Sonic run, right?
Mm-hmm. Flynn wrote like I think it was like somewhere around like 150, 160-ish onward, and then like to the end.
Yeah, it was nice that IDW's like basically said, "Hey, come back! Like your job is continuing."
Yeah, they pretty much like brought over almost all of the same people that were working on the late Archie run.
That's a very nice gesture. Like I think it helped the like comic in the long run.
Definitely. And I really like what they're doing right now too.
Are they on the Zeddy thing, or did they already pass that?
Yeah, they got past that. Now they're sort of like doing the build up to 50 with the imposter syndrome stuff, which I'm always a fan of, like inverse sort of evil villain clones of hero characters. So,
well, do I have the YouTube video for you?
Oh boy.
Wait, we're gonna get a Wish version of the Wish version of Mac McMuscles?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
What's a worse version of Wish, though?
Alibaba?
Makari?
I have no idea what those are.
Well, one of them is a character in Eternal.
Oh.
I haven't seen it.
Either way, it's a dream your heart makes.
Like I'm just kind of like clocked out of MCU. I'm like, No Way Home was great.
Yeah.
All right, nothing else. And I'm afraid, I might have
say that every other week.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it's how I feel. But okay, maybe Moon Knight will.
And then something comes along.
Yeah.
Buster's gonna binge Moon Knight with us.
No,
I'm calling it.
I won't. I just because Peacemaker got me doesn't mean Moon Knight will. I'll probably watch it like a couple years after like Mandalorian.
Just wait, Moon Knight's gonna have a Kamen Rider intro.
Oh, God. I mean, like the Peacemaker. The Peacemaker dance did sell me on. You're not like wrong about like me being like sold on it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
John
A good
Cena.
intro can bring a lot of attention to a show. I would argue that like a lot of the popularity of a lot of like mid 2000s anime, like a lot of it is predicated solely on their openings. Like sorry, go ahead.
No. I was gonna like explain, expand that out. Like nowadays, you don't really see much intros. Like I mean, like of course in anime, of course, but like I'm talking in Western shows, it's just logo with a couple like stings of music, and I'm like, I don't like that. Like I love how Peacemaker, they not just had an intro with like visuals that like actual with characters moving, but like they just went bombastic and just made it a full blown dance now.
There's a very easy understanding of why that is, though.
More
Because if it's on TV, they want to have more commercials. If it's on streaming, who the fuck cares? We already got your money.
And yet, all the Disney Plus shows do the logo shit, except for the first episode of Hawkeye.
But yeah, what I was gonna say though is like, you know, for example, stuff like which I mean, I'm sure there'll be people that disagree with me about this, but I'm gonna say it. Stuff like Dead Man Wonderland, for example, like that opening is so good and it brought so many people to the show. The show itself, too bad about that.
I watched Dead Man Wonderland all the way through on Toonami, and I was dead ass blindsided by that ending.
Yeah.
Wasn't it because like the manga ended prematurely kind of thing?
I don't know. I'm actually not sure what the situation was about the anime to manga, because the manga is finished. I have read it all, and it's okay.
If I still like the anime, is it worth my time?
It's kind of a mixed bag, because on one hand, it continues the story, and the ending is all right. On the other hand, it has a couple of elements that were sort of excised in the anime, and I would argue for the better. There's one character in particular in the manga who isn't in the anime at all, who is like, basically the entire character is just like a joke character of a trans-misogynist stereotype.
Oh, awesome.
And it's really uncomfortable.
I mean that is part of why I enjoyed that show. It was like the most 14-year-old animated thing I had seen at the time.
Very like elfin lead energy going on there.
I just remember the one scene where like the female captain of the prison guard is like undressing and changing into a different uniform in front of the prisoners, and the prisoners are just watching her and talking about how they're going to rape her.
Like, you see, like, my parents were overprotective, so I never really had that, like, 14-year-old, like, edgy, like, dark, like, anime that's too old for me face.
Oh, well, that's the thing. I had, like, very unfiltered internet access when I was very young. Not for the better. I got into, like, Higurashi when I was, like, 11.
Wow.
Something similar, wasn't internet, but it was pretty much, it was the agreement, this isn't real? Yeah, alright, cool, whatever, watch it. So I watched, like, Blade when I was 9.
Oh my god.
Oh, that would have been sick, man. I'm just like lamenting all the cool stuff I could have watched by now, but I haven't because
my dad was very hands off, but my mom has always been a very paranoid Christian white lady. But she's the kind of paranoid Christian white lady where you can wear her down. So like when I was, I want to say 6 or 7, The Batman was airing on Kids WB. And she didn't want me watching that because it was too violent. I just asked her a couple of times, and then eventually one time I just sat down and watched it without asking her, and she came in and was like, well, shit, what am I going to do now? If I turn it off, he'll be mad at me. And then I was a Batman fan.
Yeah, my mom was sort of similar. I don't know that she would necessarily have, like, stopped me from watching, like, Batman or something, but for example, whenever I was, like, maybe 12, 11 or something, I asked her if I could watch any of the anime that was on Adult Swim because I was watching Toonami all the time, and she was like, well, set the DVR to record some of them, and I'll check them out myself and let you know if you're allowed to watch them or not.
And what was on Adult Swim at that time?
At the time, I think it was, they were airing reruns of Fooly Cooly, they were doing Inuyasha, and Full Metal Alchemist 2003. And so she watched the episode of Fooly Cooly. That was a no.
Fooly Cooly.
She watched the episode of Inuyasha, and she was like, he says damn and hell too many times, so no. And then she watched the episode of Full Metal Alchemist 2003, and it just so happened to be like one of the most tame episodes of the entire show. And so she was like, yeah, you can watch this. And it was arguably like the most mature content of all 3.
I feel like you won the lottery there. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, like, it was fine by me because I ended up watching all of Full Metal Alchemist 2003 that way, and I loved it at the time.
Yeah, see, the first thing I watched of Full Metal Alchemist 2003 on Adult Swim, was that one episode with Shao Tucker.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, no. And I just waited for Cyborg 009 to come on after it.
Yeah, that definitely upset young me for a little bit there.
Was that the dog?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, because there was a time in the Kamen Rider fandom when everyone would just make unfunny like FMA spoiler jokes with Kamen Rider Double because two people turning into one. It's like
I see.
But no, I love Fulukuli. Fulukuli was genuinely, because I didn't know what the fuck it was. I was just up at 3 o'clock in the morning and it was on, and I was mesmerized, and I didn't remember what the fuck it was till like years later.
And then you subjected me to it.
Yeah.
It's definitely something of a strange formative experience for anybody who saw it as a teenager.
No, I've subjected this man to several of my anime tastes, and he can attest. He does not like them.
Well, what have you seen? What have you been exposed to?
I've shown him Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad.
No, nah.
Interesting choice.
Beck is genuinely my favorite anime of all time.
See, the whole thing, we talk about like how that episode was like the most hotly contested episode of the podcast. The only reason it is because we found out at the end of it, you told me the manga like goes way further in the story and has a proper like cathartic ending, and I was like, well, then why didn't you have me read the manga? Because I probably would have liked that.
Because it was like 30 some odd volumes, you motherfucker.
Yeah, that's always the problem. There are a lot of anime that like the manga's better, but it's also way longer.
Yeah. Unless you're talking about One Piece, then the anime's like super long.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I just got done rereading Soul Eater recently as well. Because that's another series that diverged wildly at a certain point in the anime.
My sister loves Soul Reader, but I've never checked it.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's definitely got a lot of that sort of typical shonen structure, but especially later on in the manga, it gets pretty dark at times, and the artwork is just mwah. It's so deliciously gothic inspired. I love it.
Yeah, I've been enjoying Fire Force of his.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen that much of Fire Force, but of what I have seen, I was like, I mean, obviously it has some of the like typical anime obnoxiousness to it, but aside from that, like I was actually genuinely surprised at how much I liked the bit that I saw of it.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of those kind of I hate to put it this way, like B in notoriety anime shonen things that I need to just go back and continue or finish, like Blue Exorcist. Need to go back and read it, complete, like get caught up to that, because I got up to like the Kyoto arc.
That's like was like the second season of the anime or something, right?
It might be a little bit farther in that than the manga. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while.
And here I am just being like, I watched a couple episodes of each of them, but I never committed to watching fully or reading the manga because my anime taste is like very sparse. Because honestly, I'm more of like when it comes to media, I'm more of like a Western animation fella or like tokusatsu stuff. But like, but most anime I've like grew up with are more like, they're not really anime, they're more anime adjacent. Like they like your library would put them in the anime thing. You're like the Last Airbenders or your Rubies or something.
And I'm just sitting here going like, well, you see, I like a little show. You might not have heard of it. It's called Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
I actually did start that. I did start that, but
it's a wonderful Netflix
I'm so excited for you. God damn.
Okay, well, like I started 2 episodes because everyone was like, I guess it was to celebrate the Netflix one getting canceled. Like, I didn't even watch the Netflix one. I just like
that is worth celebrating.
It is.
And like it's great up, and I really like the episodes I've seen. I just haven't continued for some reason. It's just like too much on my plate, and then like so much.
I mean, it's definitely a show that does actually work better if you watch it like a couple episodes at a time.
Like Cowboy Bebop is just it's good to go at a leisurely pace with it because it's so episodic most of the time, but also like it.
I mean, that's how it was planned to be viewed. That's why they structured it that way.
Like the way I would put it is like it doesn't necessarily have much of that, because a lot of Western animation does this now, where like it's mostly episodic, but then it builds a like background plot for a season or whatever. And it's not quite like that, but I would say that it builds more of a ongoing like thematic thing going on, and I just really like that. It's very.
And a lot of people who have experienced it from just like random cable airings of the dub, and they usually experience it out of order, so they don't realize like, oh, this sets up this sets up this, or like that there might be one or two episodes they actually don't like just because they never caught those on cable. Like, here's a hot take: Cowboy Bebop is the BTAS of anime.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen.
Okay, basically, the Japanese studio that helped with the animation on Batman the Animated Series made Big O.
Oh, TMS.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, TMS. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I need to just... There's a lot of old anime I've been watching that I just need to finish.
Buster, you're breaking up a little bit, buddy.
Yeah.
Buster?
And I thought I was the robot.
I can't tell. It sounds like a connection thing.
Yeah.
Is it working now?
No.
Vaguely.
No.
Oh.
There we go. Up.
Hello?
Now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that is Buster. This is the point where I would usually say live every.
We're not live, though.
Is it working now?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Affirmative.
Sorry, but I have no idea what happened.
Roger.
Legit, I have no idea. What were we talking about?
I don't fucking know.
Oh yeah, TMS.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Sonic X.
Yeah, also like
Somewhere in
they
there.
also animated like the first few Vanguard seasons, which it's like honestly most anime like I watch are like more like quote unquote toy commercial anime, but like just because like that's usually my comfort zone. Like I like when a show is like it uses shonen tropes to sell me a product. That's just like my comfort.
We like kids media that exploits capitalism around.
Yeah.
I think TMS is also, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they're the ones that do Detective Conan.
Yeah, I think they do.
Aren't they the ones where their logo's a seahorse?
No, that's Tatsunoko. I don't even know if Tatsunoko's an actual company. I just know that because of the Versus game with Capcom.
Yeah.
I've been known to enjoy the occasional Sanrio product from time to time.
Yeah.
They did some Lupin the Third.
Yeah. That's
Sanrio?
TMS.
Okay.
Well, man, I definitely grew up watching them because they did Spider-Man the Animated Series.
Did they?
Huh.
Yeah, they did a lot of Western animation.
Inspector Gadget, Real Ghostbusters, DuckTales, Winnie the Pooh, Tiny Toons, Batman, Animaniacs, Spider-Man the Animated Series.
So literally anything a '90s kid would be going. The '90s was when cartoons were great. Look at these shows.
Well, there you go.
Honestly, I feel like
back to Japan.
Honestly, I feel like there's never like a peak of anime. Like this isn't to sound. I'm not to sound mean, but like there's always gonna be good. There's always gonna be stinkers. There's never really a peak.
Oh yeah.
In terms of like.
There's peaks and valleys, and you can look at certain time periods and go like, there was a lot of good stuff here because of multiple confluences, but it doesn't mean any other era is bad.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, most people are just going to be kind of nostalgic inherently for whatever era they sort of grew up during as well.
I mean, I'm a 2000s kid, and a lot of 2000s media is largely considered to be bad. The Star Wars prequels, the Transformers Unicron trilogy, freaking what were some anime that were big back then?
Oh gosh, I know that they had all the Digimon anime back then. That's actually pretty fondly regarded now.
Digimon is GOAT.
At least up till Tamers, there can be some contention with Frontier. Data Savers is a little same thing. Cross Wars tends to get ragged on a lot more. Ghost Game is being pretty well regarded.
I liked Frontier, but I definitely dropped off during Data Savers. And I tried to get into Try, but it didn't take.
Wasn't Try super bad that they had to make a Redux ending that's basically just Try isn't canon, just shut up?
No, Try's still canon.
Oh.
It's a movie, Kizunai? I think it's something, Last Dance Kizunai or something like that.
Yeah, that was the ending movie.
Or, yeah, it's just a sequel.
Okay. Because, it did not, It did, like from what I hear, like some people are like Try isn't canon anymore. But then again, I kind of was following. There's like one specific Digimon fan. I don't remember their name, but they were like super pissed at like anything Toei did. They're also a Toku.
Was it Right or Jetfire?
No, it's someone you don't know,
Okay.
and I don't want to call them out.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I'm not one for conflict.
Like our podcast is the kind of thing that would get picked up in the drama sphere.
Yeah, but
But
I mean,
no.
like, there are definitely a lot of strange niche old anime that I watched back then. I'm still ride or die for Zatch Bell.
Oh,
always
hell
defend
yeah.
its honor.
I hate that the first time I heard of Zatch Bell was through Mr. Enter. Please keep.
Oh, that reminds me. I was big into Rave Master for like a hot minute when I was a kid.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember
No.
Rave Master.
Fuck. Okay. Mare.
Not
Yeah.
M-A-R.
Yes.
Fuck yes. Someone else.
Yes. I never went back and I meant to read the manga when I was younger, but I just forgot about it. But like I remember seeing the first like few episodes on Toonami or Toonami
I just
Jetstream or something like
looked
that.
it up. These designs are the most amazingly like generic 2000s understanding of anime shit.
Mm-hmm. But it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Like the main kid is the main kid
thought
is dead ass. What if Naruto, but also Yugi?
I legit thought a hammer and like metal ball combo was like a badass weapon. Then I learned, oh, it's a toy. It's a gag.
But I mean, like, I think that's actually pretty cool, though. It's creative.
There's also like a ultimate muscle.
Yeah.
Kinnikuman. Man.
Kinnikuman.
I have a friend who's really into that. I just keep all my friends saying, "Watch Kinnikuman, watch One Piece, watch Vanguard." I'm just like, give me time, fellas. Like so much on my plate.
There was Shaman King as well.
Oh fuck yeah, Shaman King.
Does anybody remember Prince of Tennis?
I do remember Prince of Tennis. I never like really got into it at all, but it was certainly a thing that existed.
There's a lot of anime that like I never really got into it, but I remember it as a thing from my childhood because I always saw Toonami ads for it while I was watching Maguzi.
Oh yeah.
Right, Maguzi, because you're a Code Lyoko dude.
Yeah, I don't like anime, but God, I fucking love one random French show from the 2000s.
See, that's the thing. That's one of the things from that era that I feel that I missed out on. I never actually saw Code Lyoko.
I tried. I'm not my thing, to be honest. Vac's gonna crucify me.
It's fine. I realize it's definitely one of those things you have to have grown up with it to be into it.
Like it is totally like that, like peak. What's it? Like anime, like people who like anime trying to sound like anime, and like they half worked and half didn't.
I wonder if it would. I wonder if it would flow better if it was in the original French.
Maybe.
Probably.
I've only seen a couple clips in the original French, and that was a while ago, so I don't remember.
Speaking of French anime, fucking Martin Mystery.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Totally Spies.
Oh yeah.
That's making a comeback, apparently.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
heard
cool.
something. I heard something about that, but I don't know the details.
Yeah, me neither. All I know is that 2023. I don't know.
It's supposed to be a continuation, I think. I saw it on
Yeah,
the
they,
Reddit.
Is it gonna
It was
pick
like-
up where the show left off, or is it gonna do a time skip?
I think it's a time skip because they all have different haircuts, and that's usually cartoon shorthand for time has passed.
Yeah, and I remember the finale because it was one of those things where like your sister is really into it, so by virtue you just know it inside and out because you're always plopped in front of the TV with her. I remember the finale movie of Totally Spies was a big deal because they're going off to college. It was one of those.
Oh, were they in like? I mean, I'm only sort of have vague, hazy memories of Totally Spies. Are they not just like adult women?
No,
they were
high schoolers.
boy crazy high schoolers.
Okay, huh? I don't know. That's a funny thing about like growing up on cartoons like that is you always assume the characters are like way older than they actually are.
Ooh, that looks like some Flash shit, especially Alex's face.
Oh, this kind of reminds me of like the sort of like art update or like art design updates that you would see in like new Cutie Honey series or whatever.
Yeah.
Or actually, it kind of reminds me of the art style for the new Rescue Heroes.
Oh yeah, it doesn't look bad though.
Yeah, it looks solid. Going off of this one image, I would give it a shot.
Granted, I do think I'd still prefer the original style, but
Yeah, but animation like with puppetry is easier and cheaper today.
Yeah. I guess that brings the question, like, what currently are you into? What is your big jam these days, Nezumi?
oh gosh, I mean, I'm kind of just going back through my Umineko phase again, really, because it's just one of those things that you read it one time, it changes your life forever. You never shut up about it ever again. But it's a very long commitment, though. I mean, I suppose it would be one of those things that you're never able to shut up about again because it takes you like 130 freaking hours to read.
Yeah, isn't it like the longest visual novel?
I don't know that it's the longest, but it's one of the longest for sure.
Trying to think, there are definitely things like that for me, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. Boingo could probably tell you one I have easier than I could.
For myself or for you?
No. You could tell because you're good at calling me out on my own bullshit.
Oh no. Yeah, you haven't really been bullshitting lately.
I don't know if that's a compliment or if like
You're
I
doing
should
better.
have an identity crisis
I mean, you haven't really been
They can
you
be
haven't
both.
been sipping over fictional characters.
that you know of.
Boy. Interesting.
Listen, Boingo bullies me about it so much that I've kind of just gotten better at hiding it over the last
I
year.
see.
It's
Repression.
not bullying when you're just pointing at a thing and going, "This exists." Is that bullying?
Yeah.
Don't worry, my friends do the same thing to me. It's
See, here's the thing. It's only this dynamic because he can't pin down what my tastes are.
I'm working on it.
You got to figure it out so it can be a mutual thing.
Yeah. One day I'll be able to go like, this motherfucker likes big titty golf GF.
I mean, yeah, but so does everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta figure out what specifically makes you one day. All right. Well, we've been at this about 2 hours now, so I think it's good enough. This is an episode. So since we have a special guest, Nezumi, I'm going to let you go first. Go ahead and let the folks know where they can check you out and if you've got anything interesting coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, sure. So my YouTube channel is at youtube.com/NezumiVA. That's NezumiVA. I primarily do like video essay content stuff, or like reviews, stuff like that. So if that's your jam, then you can find stuff like that there. I'm also at twitter.com/NezumiVA, and very soon, very shortly, I will be coming out with a video essay retrospective type thing about Danganronpa 2. And it'll probably be like over 2 fucking hours long or something. So wish me
Pop
luck.
the popcorn.
You get to the latest Danganronpa and it's just you're pushing 4 hours.
God, I hope not.
Danganronpa, the cinematic universe of Nezumi content.
It'll probably be that by the time it's over.
Buster, where do people watch your stuff if they watch your stuff?
Hi, I am Buster Corp. I usually make videos on the Buster Corp YouTube channel, typically reviews, video essays, that kind of thing. I'm kind of break before we get back into like a new flow, because I kind of burnt myself out over the last few months, weeks. So check me out, Buster Corp YouTube channel, and if you want to read my dumb thoughts on things or jokes, attempts at jokes, Buster Blue 3 on Twitter.
And Boingo, where can people look at your dumb face?
My dumb face. You want to see my dumb face? I'll give you my dumb face. I'll tell you right now. You go down there over the hills and you get a lick of panty. You go in the goal and you go whoop 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 whoop. You get the goal. That's where you go.
There you go.
Now let me actually. Hi, I'm a Boingo writer. You can find me on Twitch where I stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, unless something happens. At 9 p.m. 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Twitch.tv/Boingo Writer. You want to follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, on the fucking Toktics? Yo, guess what? At Boingo_Writer. You want to see videos I make? It's fucking YouTube. You know how YouTube works. You go into the search bar, you type Boingo Writer, click search, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Come on and jam.
And welcome to the slam.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy. Hi everybody, I'm the Vacuuminator. I've been doing YouTube for 10 years and I'm still not successful, but I like action figures and Tokusatsu, so you can go watch videos about those things at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. I'm also on Twitter talking about what the hell ever at the Vacuuminator, and I'm on Instagram posting pictures of my toys and my dogs at _Vacuuminator. But before you go into any of those places, please do me a big favor and support us here at Modular Media. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, please give it a like, comment on it, and subscribe and click the bell in order to enable notifications so that you get every podcast we put out as soon as it's out. And those podcasts do include this one, Modular Media, our flagship show where we just bullshit and talk about whatever unless we are having a special episode. We've got the No Prize podcast where we talk about Marvel movies, comics, and other comic stuff. And MMWP where we talk about wrestling, because wrestling. And then there's Twit, This Week in Tokusatsu, where myself and Buster talk about everything that happens in the last week of the world of live-action Japanese special effects. And if you want to know about updates about those things and when they're happening, you can follow us on Twitter at the Modular Media and join our subreddit r/Modular Media to post memes and things. But until next time, everyone, have a good week. We'll see you in the next. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You say that like it's a threat. We'll
is.
see you in the
It
next
is.
one.
Because if you don't come back, well, you know what'll happen. You know what'll happen. Nezumi doesn't know because she's not a regular here, but the listeners know because
I assume that
we have regular listeners.
We have regular listeners.